The World Cup has changed a huge amount after the drama that has occurred in the group stages of the Football World Cup. And that has meant that with so many minnows picking up massive results over the big sides, that there are some really big battles within the round of 32 due to the fact that not every group has finished straightforward. Now today, from Forecast Sports, I, William, am going to be running through the World Cup knockout bracket, and there is a lot to talk about there. So many big teams, so many interesting routes to that final, and of course, you have to beat the best in the World Cup to win, but often it's the knockout route can really decide whether a team can keep going till that final, because of the amount of pressure they can be put under by big teams again and again. Now, so I'll run through a lot of interesting matchups as well, and give you some of my predictions on the way. Alright, here we go. So, here I have this side of the bracket, and for the first few of Germany and France will likely meet each other in the round of 16, unless upsets occur. Then as we move down, Netherlands are playing Morocco, which will be a stunning encounter between two big sides. Portugal and Croatia are battling out, while Spain and Austria are also battling out for that next round. And that could mean some huge possible favourites will be knocked out by the time it gets to the quarterfinals. Now, also on the side is Belgium and USA, and that seems a bit of an easier route there, but then they will meet up with one of these teams here. Now, on the other side, Brazil playing Japan. That could be interesting. While Ivory Coast are also playing Norway on that opposite side, and they will meet up, those winners, in the round of 16. Now, England are playing Congo, and Mexico are Ecuador, so that could be an interesting move through there, and it means England and Brazil, or any giant killers around there, will meet up in the quarterfinals. Argentina, Cape Verde, Australia and Egypt. So that's Argentina have a pretty easy route through. And that is what a lot of talk has been about. And that is why I think Argentina are the biggest winner of this bracket. First they have Cape Verde. And I'm not saying this is going to be an easy win, but Cape Verde are definitely not a high-string side, and they're not going to be as big as what other teams are going to bring to these knockouts. Never been in a knockout stage in a World Cup before, so it's relatively new for them. This should be easy for Argentina. Then it could be a challenge, Australia and Egypt. Those are two sides who are really exciting, upcoming, and have a good system within their sides. But I think Argentina definitely still get a really good run through that. And then after that, it's most likely going to be Colombia or Switzerland. And still, that is pretty easy. So Argentina may have a surprisingly easy route to the semi-finals. That is huge. If Argentina are able to win those games and be able to keep their best players fresh, especially Lionel Messi, then they could be really, really difficult to beat at the back end of the tournament. Now, the toughest route for me is down here for Portugal, Croatia, I think it's Portugal, Croatia, Spain, and Belgium. And USA. Those sides are really stacked, and they are all clumped in one area. Now, when these sides, Portugal, Croatia, Spain, and USA and Belgium, are all possible favourites to get far this World Cup, and they will all, except for one, be knocked out by the semi-finals, and most of them will be knocked out by the quarterfinals. So it's a really difficult route through there for these sides. And it'll be interesting who can overcome these battles. And the team that breaks through will definitely be looked at as a definite possible winner of the World Cup. Now, I also find this area up the top of the left-hand side a pretty difficult route here for Germany and France. Germany straight away play France in the round of 16 if all goes to plan for those two sides, and then they could meet up with the likes of Netherlands or Morocco, who are known as giant killers, or possibly Canada, who would really have to stand out to get through there. So it's going to be a really interesting route through for those sides, and I think Argentina have most certainly got the best rub of the green overall. Now, my biggest upset waiting to happen within these knockouts is that I think there could be up here a possible knockout, and that is that Brazil will get through to the round of 16, but I believe Ivory Coast will beat Norway, and then they will also beat Brazil. So I believe Brazil will be knocked out by the round of 16, and that means Ivory Coast will make it to the quarterfinals and play most likely England, which would be a really interesting encounter, seeing that they'd be in top form. So I've really liked Ivory Coast so far this World Cup. They've looked lively, and they've got that attacking spirit with Diomande and Amad Diallo, and I'm really interested to see how they face up against those big sides, because that is one of their biggest possible strengths or weaknesses. It'll just be interesting to see whether they can live up to the fight against those big sides. But who wins it now? Who wins the World Cup now? Argentina. Great hopes here. Great hopes. And I really want to say that they have the best chance to win this World Cup, because they do, but I just don't think their team still has enough. I don't think Lautaro Martinez is doing enough at striker. Julian Alvarez has to come into striker, I think. Lionel Messi, of course, is Lionel Messi. And he's going to produce magic like he has so far. But I think that extends to a point. And yes, we've seen Lionel Messi pull rabbits out of hats, especially at that last World Cup, and produce magic that defies all odds. But I still think there may be something lacking there. And I think they will get beaten just on the pure quality of France. France are genuinely the best team in the World Cup. That doesn't mean they're going to win it, but what I've seen from them, I think they will. Just because of the fact that they are stacked in nearly every position. There are a few weak areas, left back and defensive midfield, but overall, France's attack is simply outstanding and will be incredibly difficult to shut down. Argentina, I don't think, can do that. And so I don't think Germany can either. France will create magic with Elise and Mbappe and Dembele, who we saw score a hat-trick. very recently, they will be so difficult when they are working together as they are right now so well, like a well-oiled machine. They'll be so difficult to shut down. And that is why I predict France still are going to win the World Cup. Okay, thank you for listening in. It was a great talk. Great to have you here. Tune in for more, and it's going to be a lot of excitement coming soon from these knockouts right now. So tune in for more.